Hello guys. Wanted to do hello guys. Welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do this yesterday, but then one of the person reminded me that there's a match yesterday, India Pakistan. Although like we could have done it yesterday. Like the match frankly didn't happen. So but yeah, no worries. Cool. We'll follow the same format. We'll start at 3:05. We'll wait for 5 more minutes. Um Anyone who wants to go first can just share their resume and just tell your name if you are live available, and then we'll start from you only. We'll wait for 4 more minutes and then we'll begin. Hi Nikita. Hi Shreyansh. For those who have joined but didn't know like where to share your resumes, I've shared the email ID in the chat. You can just drop your resume and let me know, and we'll pick up your resume. In case if we are not able to do your resume today, we'll do it in one of the follow-up sessions. So we still have like 3-4 minutes of wait. Let's wait. When I was a student at Scalar, my instructor was more one of my instructor was Mohit Sharma. Like he was for the advanced DSN. What he would do is like uh, until the class would start or when there's a break, he used to play some random songs. It was a way of entertaining, like like people get bored. So yeah, it was one good way of like entertaining people. If you or your team is going to hire people, which format of resume would you prefer? Single page or two-page, multi-page with detailed project explanation? I would say that at max 2 pages. I would not like when as an interviewer, I would never want to read a resume which is like of more than 2 pages. Frankly, like people like it's not the right way of doing it, but I know a lot of people actually review the resume even like only during the interview sessions. Like ideally you should have gone through the resume before joining the interview session, but I know a lot of people do it during the interview only. So that is why it's always appropriate to keep your resume for up to 2 pages, because frankly, the person sitting in front of you only has like 5 minutes to go through your complete profile. If you have like written too much and like you have expanded the things for up to like 3 pages, trust me, you'll not be like, and this person who is sitting in front of you will not be able to like identify the key points from your resume. Like you have delivered more than he can consume. That's the problem. So it's always better to try and keep it only for like 2 pages, not more than 2 pages. 1 page is appropriate. I've seen a lot of people keeping it short, very crisp. 1 page, and it kind of like show what you have done, but highlight what you have achieved. That's the fundamental. So, and people should be able to like quickly identify, okay, these are your achievements, let me quickly go through your achievements, and so that I can primarily refer to those achievements, and we can like direct your resume towards those achievements only, because you also want like your best foot to be in place in your resume, right? So it's always good to like be the driver of your interview, and for that draft a very good resume, so that you can kind of, I mean, tell the person sitting in front of you, here are my key points, here are my key achievements. Let's discuss these only, rather than like being elaborate on what all I have done, because there are some things which wherein you are not very sure, which you might have forgot because of the time frame. That there's so much time that has gone through, right? So it always makes, I mean, sense to be very crisp with your resume and write only the things that you know that are the key achievements for you. Cool. I think it's time. Let's begin, right? So maybe I'll try to identify the folks, right? I can see Shreyansh. Then let me see if I have resume of Shreyansh. Uh, okay, cool. I have found resume of Shreyansh, right? I'll quickly open it up, and then we'll share the screen. Hey, one more thing that I always mention, which is that this resume review is a live session. So your resume will be visible to all the people who are attending the session or seeing the recording at any point of time, right? So you should be comfortable. If you are not, just write in the chat and I'll want to present your resume. Cool. I'll share the screen, right? So we'll start with the resume of Shreyansh. Shreyansh, image as usual, image is not needed. We are like software engineer, not marketing people. So we can get rid of the image, right? Shreyansh and male 21 years. Mail well, etc. Right, again, these are not needed, right? Birth date of year of birth and all these are like frankly not needed. Full address not needed. In fact, I've always told that if you are open for any location, I know that there are not a lot of companies in Jaipur, right? So I believe that you should be open for opportunities all across, I mean, all across, like all across in India at least, if not abroad, right? So for that matter, you can remove this like Jaipur, Rajasthan. That's not needed. Mobile number is fine. Email is fine, but again, like only one primary email. Don't keep like too many emails. Like, I mean, as an HR, think of it like, should I write a mail to this email ID or that email ID, right? So it doesn't make sense. Don't confuse folks, right? Because this works, right? Lead code and all these things should work. See, so this is a very different resume. We haven't seen this resume in any of the previous sessions. This is for a person who is still like pursuing his BTech, right? So for this, the format is different from what a resume for a professional or already working person looks like, right? So we'll take a look from this perspective only. These links are fine. Education looks good. Project looks good, right? Project is looking fine. Okay, grocery app, an app to track your day-to-day list of grocery items used, restful, use built using Flutter. Again, see, this is fine, but okay. First of all, like move this section towards the top, right? Just before the education, like put this section of computer and technical skills, and don't mention like computer only. Technical skills is sufficient. So just mention technical skills, right? Then your education, then your app. In this app, if you have worked on a certain pieces, like if these are like this looks like an elaborate description of the application, right? If you have only worked on a set of pieces in this, then mention that what was your key role, or where you like you had to put in your effort, I mean, if it's like a teamwork, doesn't make sense like you mention everything. You have to mention the key components that you built, right? This is like a app description, right? So if possible, try to mention the key things that you provided. Okay, and I have which lost friends. Hey Prashant, Shreyansh, I'm not sure, but I feel that these fonts are also like not the same. Just double check on them once. Like I mean, this looks like this is looking a bit like broader, and this is looking a bit like very narrowed down, like squeezed words, right? So just check that they are the same or not. Other than computer skills, I have mentioned that move them towards before the education, right? SQL databases, ID, skills, data structure, Android, iOS development. This looks good. Okay, okay, right. Work experience, camp. Hey, work experience also I think should go up. I'm not sure, like for a BTech person, it should be here. It's always like it should be in the chronology. So I think if it is like 22 to 22, I'm not sure. Like check with more with the formats. Usually, like these work experience comes before education, right? For people who are like professionals. So I'm not sure for you it should come before or after, but it's fine. Like until it's in the same page. But see, I mean the reformatting if it's really if you want to do. Member of computer science club, one district level table tennis. Other than that, I think it looks good. Other than that, you are fine. See, there are a lot of very good templates also available. Check for yourself, like if you would want to adopt any of those templates as well. Other than that, it looks good. But yeah, I mean, you can refer to some of the previous sessions. I have there was one person, Akhil Naidu. His template is really good, and even like for the session which happened, I think it was the third session. Again, the person whose resume was towards the end, his resume was also like very good. You can refer to their templates. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. Nikita, let me also share. For example, like Prakhar tender not comfortable. I'll not share you. Share yours. Okay. Come on, Naman. Okay. And Shreyansh Nikita Rai. Nikita hasn't mentioned anything. Okay. So let's proceed with Nikita's. Uh, Nikita, I can't find your resume. Nikita, see if you have like shared it or not. Right. Okay. Let's move on to then. After Nikita, I can see the comments of Subrat Kumar Panda. Right. Okay, let's move to Subrat. Right. Cool. So Subrat Kumar Panda, systems engineer, contact number, portfolio. Okay, mail ID, LinkedIn. It looks good. Professional summary, experienced conversational AI and backend API developer with 2 years of experience in designing and developing enterprise applications with an excellent leadership record, predominant expertise in Node.js, and Azure, right? Very nicely written. Seems like you have put in some effort to like draft this line. Directed project optimization, team utilizing expertise, and partner with colleagues and dedicated task in achieving project objectives with speed and accuracy. This all looks fine. Maybe one more point you can add is like what is your aspirations, like for example, like looking to leverage all my skills to deliver better AI based projects in the domain of NLP and all those things, like anything that you would want to write. Also, like if see if you would want to like highlight these terms, conversational AI and a backend API developer, Node.js and Azure cloud services, right? Expertise in this thing, right? See if you would want to highlight these things. Special achievements and accomplishments honored with on the spot star team award and accelerate for your awards. Awarded as national leader of this thing. Okay. Excelled as national finalist in R&D. Recognized as an emerging innovator. Okay, this looks fine, but see the formatting, like it should be consistent with this, right? So change the formatting. This needs to be corrected. Like, see, everywhere you have this a, a, a blank space, right? But here you have missed that one. Professional experience, senior engineer, TCS, Bhubaneswar. Okay. Fulfilled the role of offshore technical lead for the intelligent API automations at Helion. Okay. Developed a high value chatbot feature enabling 2FT savings, and this is nice. Optimized cloud resource plans, including changes to IBM Watson and Azure resource plans, resulting in a cost saving of nice. I highlight these terms like IBM Watson and Azure resource plans, right? Architectured CI/CD pipelines for using Docker, highlight Docker in Azure, right? Where is your skills section? Docker. Have you mentioned Docker here? You haven't mentioned Docker here. Hmm. Check all these things. Like all the key terms should be mentioned in this IT skills. Also, not IT skills, technical skills make more sense as a section, right? Drove the team to design, estimate, develop, document, and test innovative and scalable solution. Develop and implement new product features. Served as pivotal communication on bridge between crafted and advanced chatbots, voice bots. This you have already covered in the points above, right? So no need to rewrite this. Engaged in code reviews, contributed to development activities, implemented best practices to uphold code quality, demonstrated advanced extensive development experience in Azure Cloud, effectively optimized SQL database using through through query optimization. If you are mentioning this thing, like what query optimizations you did, what was the outcome, that also needs to be mentioned, right? So if you are writing anything like you did something, you have to mention the outcome as well, right? And if you have done this thing and it stands out of the other pointers, like I did code reviews, I guided the team and all, right? So if you have done this should be moved up, and again, again with the outcome, right? Which is important. Development, utilize DevOps tool chains. This looks fine, right? Again, this is also a good point, should move up. Like, I mean, you have put in a lot of things that are like that all the people are doing, that does not makes you stand out, and those are like above these points which actually should have made some difference, right? So they should go up. Conducting comprehensive software testing to ensure optimal functionality, emphasizing a commitment to delivery. Other points look fine. Data structures and algorithm. REST API. Data structure and algorithm, like I mean, this is not a technical skills, right? This is one of the tool for the IT skills. So don't like mention data structure and algorithm. Right? Technical skills, REST API is good. Azure cloud is good. IBM cloud is good. DevOps is good. Right? This when you mention these terms, it means like you're practicing lead code and all just to crack the interviews, which kind of like go in a negative way as well, right? So data structure and algorithm is not a technical skills, they're a means of like achieving the things, right? So don't mention data structure and algorithms in your IT skills. Other things look fine to me. Upscaling software development at scale academy completed self. This looks good. Certification courses. If possible, mention like link your certificates to all these pointers, right? File sharing, develop the file sharing. This looks good. Internship of 28 weeks, internship at this internship. Rest everything is looking good to me. Mm. Rest everything looks good. Just see like if you would want to like work on these things, for example, like provide the links to your certificates, re-optimize these terms. There are some things which everyone is doing which you have still mentioned, right? Those don't make sense, but there are certain things which like not a lot of people are doing, like those are specific to your roles and responsibilities that you have mentioned, but you have not given due weightage to them. Also the formatting and all needs to be fixed. Other than that, I think it looks good. Cool, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so next I can see Shreyansh, Subrat, Nikita. I couldn't find your resume. Rohit. Let me see if I can find resume of Rohit. Hmm, I can find resume of Rohit. Let's go through it. Again, one of the very prominent template that he has used, it's very in now, and one of the really good templates, like this column based approach is now gaining a lot of traction, right? So if any of you is like wanting to make your resume or still like waiting to create your resume or want to have a better template for your resume, contact Rohit. He is like he has used a really one of the nice templates that are available right now. Cool. Data analyst, immediate joiner. I mean, see, like he is very briefly, like in the beginning itself, he has mentioned that he is this person and he is like an immediate joiner, right? Driven by a passion for unrolling the stories and data analyst. Remove this line, like this is a copied line from somewhere. It's very visual. It's quite visible, right? So draft something with your own, like this data analyst with 2 years of experience in extracting valuable insights from integrate data sets. This looks like a real line, right? So this should be the first line. Seeking a challenging role to leverage analytical skills and domain expertise for organization. This is also fine, but maybe like worth mentioning, like in this 2 years, any domain that you have worked in, any specific project, like a summary of anything that kind of adds more value would be useful here. Number and all looks fine, right? Seller support, associate data analyst, Amazon, utilize SQL queries in Excel. This looks fine. Let data flow enhancement initiatives leverage. This looks good. Process associate data analyst, build financial interpreted data and applied statistical, developed and implemented Tableau based data visualization dashboard. See, like, and if you notice that he has very well, like Tableau, he has highlighted data visualization, he has highlighted, right? Reduced manual reporting by 10 hours, he has highlighted it. So as an interview, like when somebody will be interviewing him, he can quickly refer to these bolder elements. And for example, if I look at 10 hours, so I'll quickly see that okay, 10 hours for reduced manual reporting work by 10 hours. So like I can just read through the key pointers through his resume. Conducted thorough and a data analysis of operations data using SQL led to valuable insights, automated data extraction, reducing the preparation time by 80%, created monthly and quarterly reports for higher management. Maybe you would want to mention any like any of the techniques here, right? Collaborated with other team to integrate, monitor performance and quality. This looks good. Okay. The pointers look fine. Open source projects, target business project, analyze customer data using it to optimize marketing, resulting in a 20% increase in sales. Looks fine. Netflix data analysis. Python graded interactive tool showcasing trends in case if you would want, if your like projects are available somewhere online for a quick access, it is worth mentioning the link to those projects as well. Python. See if you would want to like mention these libraries and tools in your skills as well, right? Develop descriptive analysis for certifications. Add links to the certificates, right? It kind of like provides an easy way to validate the certificates, right? Having those links. Other than that, I think the resume is very good. If anyone is like wanting to use this template, and this is a very good template to reuse. So in all, like it's a very well drafted resume, Rohit. Just see if you would want to add these links and all, so that like it becomes more associative. If I want to like quickly validate these, I should be able to do that. That's the only thing. But other than that, a very good job on your resume. Cool. We can move on to the next one, right? Deepak. Deepak, I can't find your resume. Deepak, I can't find your resume. Prakar, I think you mentioned that you are not comfortable, right? So I'll not open your resume, right? I think that's what you wanted to mention. I'll pick up one from backlog, right? I have a long backlog to review, right? So let me pick. Prachi is there. Okay, Prachi is there. Okay, let me pick up resume of Prachi, and then we'll pick up at least one or two from backlog. Okay, Prachi. Number is fine. Prachi, this is fine. This is fine. Machine learning 1.1 LP domain. Which was the previous resume that I was mentioning? Rohit, yeah. So see Rohit, like he has clearly mentioned machine learning engineer with 1 point passionate about data science and aim to enrich by right. So she has clearly mentioned the domain as well, right? So that is what I was mentioning, that if you have worked on any specific domain, it is worth like mentioning that okay, I'm expert in this domain, right? Passionate about data science and aim to enrich my science. Have keen interest towards entrepreneurship and leadership in my current included exploration and other than that, I think it looks perfect, right? Skills, hmm, skills is fine. I think the chronology is perfect. The she has started with like her name and then a brief about her like contact details, then a synopsis, then skills, then experience, then personal project and education. So overall, the structure is very well drafted, right? So machine learning improvised and optimized an in-house sentiment analysis model and inner aptitude. This looks great. Formulated a rule-based subject extractor for phrase using spacey for polarization, polarity reclassification, and force. The pointers look fine to me. Optimized model for again good setup. Okay, Graphene AI implemented a weak supervision framework using Snorkel library. You missed. I think you missed mentioning this in bold because I see that all the other technologies you have mentioned in bold. Manage the target tagging process and increased agreement from for training coordinated with the tagging team. Experimented for part and bird. Hmm. Again, like I think you missed mentioning this in bold. See if you would want to do that. Predict monthly deform okay, right. Laptop retries predictor. That looks good. Intent classification classify the conversation into one of the pre-trained. Hmm, looks good. Netflix. Maybe like I mean this link that you have put in here, that link can be put in here itself, right? And for this one, you're not putting in any link, right? So probably like I mean, if you don't have anything to display here, so move the other items with wherein like you have something to display before this and move this towards the last. Other than that, it looks good. See if you would want to change the like this the template that you're using. You can really like get in touch with the previous person and ask for his template. His template was actually very good, right? So check with Rohit if he can share his template, and maybe you can redraft or reuse that same template. It was actually very good. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to someone else. Okay, Naman. Let's check for Naman, right? Cool. I'll share Naman's resume now. I think we'll not be able to take any more after this. Like we're already like closing, nearing 3:35, right? So okay, so Naman's resume should be visible, right? So Naman Gandhi number hello at the rate namangandhi.com. Okay, enthusiast and skilled in AWS, Java data structures, algorithms, Linux, and CCNA. You can remove data structures, right? Java is good enough. I offer a solid technological foundation, proficient in AWS. I see its potential for innovative cloud solutions. So Naman, what if you are interviewing for a company which uses GCP? Like, would you want to miss those opportunities, right? So, like proficient in AWS is fine. I see its potential for innovative cloud solution would go can go in a negative way, right? So it is fine that you have done this thing, right? But don't, I mean, I would recommend is like, don't predict that it would be the market leader or something, because in a way you're saying that okay, we use this product, but we are not sure whether you'll be willing to work on this product, so like we can consider some other candidate, right? So don't make any prediction. Like, be very careful in your resume, right? Anything should not go negative for you. Enabled robust application while data structure and expertise enhances problem solving. See, this data structure algorithm expertise enhances problem solving. It's not needed. I'm well versed with Linux and hold a CCNA certification. Scoring my networking, eager to contribute and learn. I'm poised. Other things are fine. Data structure things you can remove, and don't be like predictive on what will excel. Let that call be taken up by the like the by the seniors of the company who are like hiring you, right? Work experience, manage more than 150 AP operation with support tickets and proactively. This looks fine. Successfully implemented VPN solutions for the company's internal network enhancing. Okay, utilize monitoring solutions such as Zabbix and Hound. Okay, streamlined operation, automating routine. This looks fine. Demonstrated prompt action in network troubleshooting. This is fine. See, if you would want to highlight these points, I think that, for example, Zabbix and Red Found, this is fine. This should be highlighted. 40% should be highlighted, right? 150 operational tickets should be highlighted. So there are very key terms in these pointers, which I think you have to highlight. Network engineer, my price financial. Again, highlight these terms. Skillfully handled more than highlight the term. Service now, highlight service now, right? Identified and resolved network tickets in Cisco Meraki. Highlight the term, ensuring. See, I mean, this kind of shows that there are certain things in which you are now an expert, right? If you're mentioning these things, it makes sense to like make the interview catch these terms in a quick glance. Actively collaborate, contributing. This looks fine. Project Hostgirls designed hostgirls.com and configured complete backend server using cPanel. If you have your own project, like it is worth putting in. Like, I mean, host this project somewhere on the GitHub and provide a URL to your code base and all, right. Digilens. Design Digilens.in on WordPress for, again, like put in the links for these things. Nigeria news aggregator design on WordPress for a client based out of UK to display news feeds. This all this looks fine, but nice, cool. Cloud computing, train 50 plus. Other things are fine. See if you would want to add the links to these certificates, right? And this is fine. See, like you train 50 students in November and then 50 more students in Feb to November, right? So, I mean, if you are mentioning the time frame in this way, probably do the same for this pointer as well, right? Other than that, it looks good, Naman. Your resume is very well drafted. It looks good. A very, again, a very plain and simple template, but serves the purpose. So if you are like not looking at one of those jazzy templates, which for example like Rohit was using, this is again one very good and very crisp, concise template that you can go with. So very nice. Maybe try to reduce the verbosity. Like this is like looking a bit more verbose. 2 to 3 lines is more than sufficient. Again, like as I mentioned, you have to remove certain things like data structures and algorithms. This is like a general expectation. Everyone and anyone who is coding needs to have this, right? So it doesn't make sense to be very explicit about it. Other than that, looks fine. But highlight the key points here. Cool. Uh, I think we're mostly done. I still have 2 more minutes. So let me take up one from the backlog, right? So I have a resume of a person called Bala Surya. Let's take a look at his resume, right? I'll share screen. I would say, like, first of all, this is the kind of resume that you should not make at all. Like, this is a very good example of what all you should not do in your resume, right? So we'll take a look at it from that perspective, right? So first of all, Barasurya, complete address, it's not needed. Only your phone number, email ID, and LinkedIn profile is what is needed. Now going back, no, going next to the, first of all, like, see how much space is wasted. It's like, I mean, it's more of like a letter than a resume. Everything is holding the same font, no font sizing and all is being used here, right? So for example, like, name, address, phone number, everything is like, I mean, it's looking more of like a newspaper article, right? So that's the biggest mistake, no formatting used, right? Objective, highly skilled and motivated. I'll not go to the terms per se because I think this resume still needs a lot of work, right? So let's quickly review it from the formatting and other pointers, right? Professional experience, right? Now coming on to here, web methods developer, Tata Consultancy Services, Bangalore, January 2021 to present. Could have been done in a better way. For example, this year could have been moved here. This format, like the sizing of this should have been reduced, or there should be like a bolder, a bold pattern somewhere here, right? Roles and responsibilities directly started with the pointers. Again, I'm not sure why, like, there is an extra line, right? So in case of formatting, you have to be very consistent, right? One is like a, if you're using the bullets, right now, just use the standard bullets, then using these hyphens and all, so that is not that you should be using. And then no extra spaces, like, I mean, why there's a discontinuity? Maybe he wanted to put in some other project here that he missed putting in, or there was something that he missing, or there was something that he initially mentioned and then he removed. Like, these are the questions that can probably come up in the interviewer's mind, right? So avoid making these kind of mistakes, like you enter some extra spaces somewhere between, right? Directly moving on to the education, BTech, computer science, engineering, college could have been done better in a tabular way. Again, the score is not mentioned. You should mention like the CP, I mean, anything, the percentage score or anything that kind of establishes your credentials, right? So could have been done in a better way. Again, like, technical skills, again, like, a better format would be like to have multiple of them segregated in like different buckets. So for example, like, tech skills, databases, tools, right? They could have been done in a better way, right? Certifications, link to the certification would make more sense. Projects, again, see, like, there is a huge gap between all these things, right? Enterprise integration project and implementing responsibilities. Now see, like, initially the responsibilities were in a tabular format, right? Now the responsibilities are coming in a paragraph, which is again like a very disjoint between what was seen above and what is seen now. Achievement, reduce the processing time. Achievement, like, ultimately your responsibilities outcome should be one or the other achievement, right? So probably merge both these sections. If there is something that has made a key difference, start with that in your roles and responsibilities, and gradually coming down to the things which made less impact, right? That's the way of doing it. No need for, now it is looking like the responsibilities was a regular task that you did, and achievements was the only part that actually made some difference, which kind of like reduces the weightage on the responsibilities, right? Description, again, the same thing here, right? Legacy, modernization, again the same mistake here. And see, like, I mean, this space is not needed. Like, it is very hard. I mean, now say for example, if I start reading from this point, right, it is very hard to understand, like, is it associated with this project or the project which is coming down, right? A very nice way would have been like to use a tabular format, or use some kind of another format wherein like this heading come and then there is no space, the continuation starts here itself, like, in description and all these terms are frankly like not needed. A person understands that, okay, after the project you might be like explaining that, and then the bullets. So I mean, it's like people who are taking interviews, they are so accustomed to these things, like they understand that what is the layout of the resume, how the things are looking like. They'll be easily like in a very quick glance they'll be able to understand, okay, this is the description of the project, these are the key terms, these are the skills, right? So people are like very used to reading this quickly, right? So you not need to be like so elaborative of these things, that okay, this is my description, this is my responsibility, this is my achievement, these are my skills, right? No need for these titles. The person reading is smart enough to identify. Languages is, other things are fine, but yeah, I mean, now because of all these mistakes, the interest resume is spilling to 4 pages, trust me, it will be very hard for HR to like process this resume ahead. Like, I mean, it is looking more like a newspaper. Like, whenever the person will like read this, I mean, there should be a sense of excitement when he's or she is looking at your resume, right? There should be some key skills that he can quickly identify, some key pointers that kind of say that, okay, this resume is standing out from the other resumes, right? Right now it is looking like, I mean, a description, or it's looking like, I mean, more of your diary, that okay, I have completed like these things in my life, but not a resume per se. So you have to work very hard on your resume. So that was one, and I think like we did it in a different way today. Like, we are ending with some key lessons on what not to do in your resume rather than like what you should be doing. So yeah, that was mostly it. We are past time, like it's already 40 minutes, and let's take up the other resumes in the next session. So thank you guys, thank you everyone for joining. Let's do one more session next week, and see, like we'll pick up more resume. Yeah, cool. Okay, thanks, bye bye.